Next session, which would be me talking about how we basically manage secrets using HashiCorp Vault. But I'll keep this to level 100, 200, just what's Vault, what we use Vault for, how we manage secrets, what's its functionality, and a few use cases, but on a very high level, because I'm planning a deep dive on the next event to make sure, to basically do also a technical demo on this. But just to set the expectations, the presentation today would be on just the introduction to the tool and basically some use cases and what's the benefit using it and using in a multi-cloud environment as well and what value it adds. So I'll just keep to that level if that's okay, and then we probably do a deep dive session in an upcoming event as well. So yeah, thanks Martian, and thanks. That's a wonderful session on the Terraform, and thanks for staying still now, guys. So cool. So jump into this topic. So HashiCorp Vault. So first, let's start with what's HashiCorp Vault. Yeah. So what it mean? So it's basically similar to, if you're familiar with the cloud side, who manages secrets, secret manager or KMS in AWS. But I think Vault is more a little bit more complicated and generic tool which can work across various hyperscalers. Just to one-liner, if you want to know what's Vault, it's basically helps you to identity-based secrets to store in a secure way. So it basically encrypts your data and the storage, and also it will make it available for your API when your application calls for it, or your hyperscaler, in terms of other authentication and also authorization, what level of access they have for the secrets which are stored in Vault. On a high level, that's what Vault meant for, but we will, and it does a little bit on also the policies, how you basically want to access and what it does, but we'll stick to maybe secrets management, like how we basically encrypt them and make it available for your HTTP APIs and other sensitive data, what it's meant for. So how does what works? So as I said, there are four stages involved. One is like authentication, and then validate, authorize, and then provide access at the end. So primarily, Vault works with tokens. Any I think if you're familiar with the secrets or any encryption methodology, it always works with kind of issuing an authorized token to the end API. That's how you get basically access and authorization to what you're looking for or your application as well. So authentication in the Vault is basically a process by which it supplies the information that basically, certain user or certain application have access or authenticated, and issue basically a token is generated. And every token have a policy associated to it, which means what that access meant, certain read access to a secret or write or those kind of access related policy can be written and attached to that kind of token or secret you store. It validates. Again, you can also put against your LDAP or AD, some app role which you have against third-party trusted resources which your application might use, and then basically it authorizes. So as I said, it has a set of rules which will define at an API endpoint where the client has access, and it will define basically what, either you grant access to that secret for the example database connectivity or a password or some to access to your application, or it denies based on the policy attached to that secret. And the last is access basically. So and it doesn't store the values as a plain text. It always have an encryption layer around it, and it encrypts and store the token very securely, and it basically gives access at the end. And So coming to the secrets management is on a high level. So centralized stores and distributed secrets like API keys. So if you are familiar with the cloud operations, so everything is based on APIs, and especially when you retrieve any credentials or token, it's if you're familiar with AWS, it's a secure token service (STS), which will retrieve or from IAM, so identity and access management, or any databases or or certificates, which will basically encrypt your public HTTPS or TLS traffic and SSH credentials as well. So the typical challenge we have in our application when you host or when you run in a cloud or any environment, you basically need to centralize, or you have a kind of like a static IP where the solution is based on, and it's very difficult to scale in that dynamic environment, and maybe your application keeps changing, your the EC or your virtual machine the application is running, you scale up, scale down, that will be changing. So it's very dynamic. So that's where I think Vault adds more value as a centrally managing it and enforcing the secret to and it would be like a trusted source for your application of their user identity. So Vault is the secret engines is the concept where behind the scenes how these secrets are managed. Vault is basically the secret engines are basically a components that store and generate the encrypted data. So as you can see in the pictures, how on a high level, as I explained, so any data that you store in the Vault, it keeps in a little secret engine. You basically have a policies attached to it, like explained before. So which explains, what it does, what level of access you have, and basically it has some authentication methods which will pass to your end user, and then the secret retrieval will happen. And either you give it grant access, and then basically, or you do deny access to your end API call. So every data which is stored as well, again, it's completely encrypted. So the secret agents have this, little, flexibility where it depends on, what kind of engine you use, but it's, it depends on the function as well. So it's a kind of like set of data. It takes some data and then it returns a result. It's similar to a kind of Amazon KMS, if you are familiar with. You store a key, you have a functionality in a key management service in Amazon where you encrypt that data as well as a secret, as a password, or a JSON string for your database, instance. So, and then basically how you have some roles associated with the policies as to retrieve the key. It works similar to that, and then you grant access or issue a temporary token to it. So just let's talk about this main features or some of the features of Secret Manager using Vault. As I said, the secrets which you store in Vault are encrypted, and the storage backend of your choice, either it's DB or some other storage options you have. So that's the high-level syntax how you basically pass it on on the secret storage, a name and basically parameters, a JSON string. You have dynamic secrets. This is handy when you're using kind of like you want to give like a temporary access or a programmatically generated token to give access to a certain TTL time limit for an application to run or for a job to run, and not open to like a static secret. So this is very useful, and you can also enable either you immediately revoke the access after that, or you can also set a kind of like a time how the secret is valid until. So, and that's how you basically manage the dynamic secrets. Namespaces, I'm not sure, if you are container guys or Kubernetes guys, you will have very familiar with this on namespaces, where you can basically isolate how you manage your environment. So similar here, kind of like you have multiple customers, or you have multiple applications where you would like to segregate the access. So this is something which you can also use in Vault using namespaces. So So all your secrets which you hide, basically you create a namespace. As you can see on the left hand side, it's just basically showing you some secret clients, and then basically you create a namespace for it and where you save those secret engines around it. So it's kind of like a multi-tenancy, how you operate. It also has some secure plugins. Vault can be basically plugged into any console, which is another topic which I'm going to discuss in the next session. MySQL, AWS, DynamoDB there, so MongoDB, any Postgres, MySQL, and also Vault. Detailed audit logs as security, the primary aspect is SIEM, so you have an event, incident management in place. So this is one of the feature. It's very useful when you have any audits or compliance requirements that you have to have an audit on, what token is issued, when it's issued, all the timestamps which you look for in terms of any security breaches. So this is something very useful. So which it will keep a log on audit.log. So it has a detailed history of client interaction, authentication, token creation, secret access, and when it's basically revoked. You also detect security breaches. I mean, it won't automatically detect, but it will be useful if you have tools on top of it for detection. For example, either configure, disconfigure, or automatic remediation you have in place with some third parties or Splunk or any other SIEM tools which you use. It will be helpful for detect and also auto remediate some of the and enforce some policies on top of it as well. So lease and revoke, again, this is to minimize the impact of secrets which you expose, how long the credentials can live. It's kind of like, I don't know if you have a website or something, it's kind of like time to live TTL. So you set similar to that, you can just basically create time-based tokens for automatic and manual revocation the management. So I'm not too familiar with on the implementation side, but theoretically I think it looks like you can basically set, lease, and revoke some secrets based on time. So this is what I would like to show you on a Kubernetes AKNet cluster, how Vault will be associated for authentication. So on a high level, I would like to keep it here, but it will be a technical deep dive in the upcoming session, but I will keep it to this, that on a high level. Basically, it's very useful for your pods to have this authenticated token for your API calls from Vault. If I want to deep dive into more sessions here, I'll just keep it. But again, this is an example for lease and revoke secrets, what we just discussed. So again, so multi-cloud secret management. So we have secret management for every hyperscaler, like for KMS secret managers, or Azure secrets, or Google, the similar ones. But where Vault will come handy is when you have a database running in Azure, and you have application running in AWS, multi-cloud environment. This would be very useful. Vault to manage secret management on multi-cloud. So it also very seamless, as you can see there. Authentication, all the API calls you make for the Vault, it can talk to Active Directory, Azure, or AWS IAM, or any LDAP you use. That's for identity authentication, and also you can also retrieve secrets from it on multiple cloud APIs. So you can expose the Vault API depending on your end user, and you expose this encryption without exposing any encryption keys, basically. So it issues a authorized token, as you can see on the screen, and you can manage it as well. And you have audit for all the applications, multi-scale, multi-cloud in one place. So that's the advantage here. And also you can globally manage policies, what level of access or what level of retrieval authorization you're basically setting for those secrets in one single application, Vault. Some of the use cases, like why you would like to use Vault. Uh, of course, the secret management is a key thing where you would like to store your passwords or your tokens, your certificates, your encryption keys. Centrally, that's a place where you would like to basically, secure them without any exposure to the outside world and just give them temporary access to it. And it also reduces some sort of, operational overhead because you don't have to manage KMS in AWS and Azure Secrets in Azure and multiple places or in-house. It will be one place. It will minimize your operational overhead, and it's very secure to manage your secret management. Kubernetes secrets, as I explained, show in the other one in the picture just before. So it is basically similar to that. You can retrieve and inject secrets to your application stack running in a Kubernetes environment, that which we will do a technical demo in the next session. So this one, I would, yeah, I'm doing a POC in it at the moment, but yeah, I'm not finished yet, but probably I will learn more and I can show it to you guys. And database central rotation. So this is one of the pain points when you have database credentials, and you don't want to be using it for a long, you need an automated rotation for your database passwords. Amazon KMS does that for key management system, but for Vault, you can do that for any of your databases running in any hyperscaler multi-cloud environment. This would be a very good benefit for having automatically rotated passwords to make it more secure for your existing database. And it's easy to integrate with your applications as well with Vault. And the user don't have to know the credentials of the password, so it's automatically managed within Vault and between your application. And the automated KPI infrastructure, so public key infrastructure, so it uses X509 certificates on demand to reduce the overhead. For example, any application you run as a public infrastructure, you basically need a certificate authority to issue a certificate. You sign it, you establish the trust between your end user with using that certificate. So it's a little bit overhead to manage your security authority by yourself, host it somewhere, issue a public certificate, and configure that to your application or your front end, your web app. So this will be a little bit cumbersome when it comes to you doing it yourself. But if you use Vault in this one of the use case, probably it's very beneficial. So it generates this certificates on demand and allows your services to basically acquire without any manual process in between. So that's useful as key management. So again, it's plain and simple. If you compare with Azure Key Vault or Google KMS, AWS KMS, it's simple KMS. So you store a key, kind of like a key value pairs where you can store them, encrypt the data, and retrieve. When your application needs, or when you also need to have some authentication on top of it. But if you use Vault, I think one of the benefits would be managing those keys, lifecycle management of those keys, and also provide access to multi-cloud environment where your application needs. So those are some of the use cases for Vault. I would like to see, that would basically on the high level, because I would like to keep it there to more things. I would like to summarize in a way like, if there are any aspect that you would look into on this secret management or Vault in particular, you have a particular use cases that you would like to, deep dive, I would like to show you that in the upcoming. So please feel free to mention that in the comment or the feedback form. Some of the references I used for this, and also I recommend you to go through, is the, HashiCorp Vault by Armand Darker. So he's the co-founder of HashiCorp. So it's a nice, fantastic video where he explains how it basically works. I've gone through it before I'm coming for this event, and I've created this event. And definitely use that as a reference, and advise you to go through that if you're more interested to do a more deep dive on a whiteboard, how it's explained from the expert itself. Yeah, so HashiCorp Associate and Terraform Associate. So these are the certifications that are offered by HashiCorp and also Console. If you're interested to learn more and get certified as part of your job, it adds value to you, or probably it also you want to improve your learning journey and probably your skills on HashiCorp tools. Yeah, just visit them. So please go through that. What the prerequisites you might want. You might want to check them. And if you're lucky, maybe you will get a free voucher, exam voucher to even get certified. So keep your fingers crossed. So yeah, so finally we came to the feedback and prizes. This would be the feedback form. I'll just also keep mention that in the chat in a bit. I would like to. This feedback is very important for me because whatever work I do for the community as part of HashiCorp DevSecOps AWS or DevOps Institute, it's mainly for community. So please be open. Be mention what you would like to look for this in the coming session or whatever you want to express or feedback that would help me. It's always a cycle of improvements. I believe in continuous learning. So yeah, please please feel free to open up and provide your feedback. How we went today, and I will. Or if you want, also need support to do a POC on AWS or do a POC on the topics which we discussed. I'm more than happy to help you. I will also randomly give away $50 AWS credits for your practice and for your learning. But if you have a certain project in mind which will help the community, or if you certain POC that you would like to learn and demonstrate it back to the community, I'm more than happy to help you as well in that aspect. And these are the 3 certifications which HashiCorp offers at the moment. And maybe you will be certified if you're lucky enough. You could receive the exam voucher at the end. And last but not least, I would like to also, before we go to questions, just pause here for a bit and just see if there are any questions first, and also want to provide the feedback form before you guys disappear. So please stay. You can unmute yourself and feel free to, let me know what do you think and what I can cover. So I'm just checking the questions in the chat as well. So I think, thanks person, you answered most of the question. On Vault, as I said, guys, I'm no expert. I just want to deep dive into the secrets management and how it helps. So I'm also learning. And probably by next session, I will do a technical demo and I will be, more. I can show you more about that for sure. So just to be honest with you. So let me provide the feedback form in the chat. So please feel free. There you go. So please open up. Don't forget to provide the valid email so I can contact you. Please. So how do you think the session went, guys? You can unmute yourself and please let me know. Okay, before you disappear as well, I would like to introduce Jonas. Third is our attendee for the first event. I would like to show you his motivational video, what he thought about HashiCorp event, and also how we got certified by attending the event as well. So I think it's important thing. So I would like you to stay a little bit longer to hear his words, and let me know what you think. So 1 second, let me bring on Jonas. And here we go.
Hello everyone, my name is János Tóth. I'm from T-Systems and working on cloud-based DevOps projects generally, utilizing Terraform since years. Thanks to the HashiCorp user group, I've got entitled for a free voucher of Terraform certification And after a few weeks of preparation, I passed the exam. About Terraform, as engineers, we found that Terraform is a crucial tool in our daily tasks to achieve smooth provisioning of cloud infrastructure. It's key that Terraform is cloud agnostic tool, so it's very handy in terms of defining and translating our platform requirements into existence. On the top of that, we achieve this by using just one specific language, HCL, which is a JSON-like descriptive language. It's portable, reliable, and provides a consistent workflow. As per preparing for the exam, I can say that I'm glad to mention that with the support and motivation from Madhu, Budapest HashiCorp user group leader, I managed to skill up and become HashiCorp's Terraform certified professional. There are plenty of valuable and still free materials one can find on the internet, along with the official Terraform study guide, of course. And the exam itself was not a big concern, just the well-known multiple choice assessment type. You will be given plenty of time to deal with the exam questions and to think about some tricky ones. However, you really need to get your hands dirty in order to achieve fluency in Terraform and to be successful on the exam. Once you pass at least 70% of the questions, you're getting Terraform certified right after closing the session. The benefits of securing such a professional certification is obvious. They say that knowledge is power, but at the HashiCorp user group, knowledge is transformation. I'm happy to be part of the community that supports growth and celebrates success of the individual. I encourage you to learn, challenge yourself, and get certifications that helps you advertise your dedication. Thanks also to HashiCorp, who is supporting the global communiques. Join us on this remarkable journey and unlock your full potential with the HashiCorp user group. Together, we will be doing great. Thank you and have a nice day.
That's a great motivational video, Jonas. Thanks so much for coming forward and sharing your experience and sharing your view. Yeah, it will definitely, I think, helps other community members what if they're thinking to get certified or why not, how you basically feel. So thanks, Jonas. Thank you. You want to say a few words? Unmute yourself and yeah, please say a few words, guys. Anyone? How do you think the event went today, and what would be your expectation for the next one that I can bring it for you guys?
Yeah, hi Madhu. Asif here.
Asif.
Thank you for the session. It was amazing. Especially, I was hoping to understand how Terraform internally works, so that was well explained by Vasan here.
Yeah.
Thanks to him for that. And also, I'm using Vault right now, and my next expectation would be to learn it like a deep dive kind of a session.
Sure. I'll take that into consideration. Asif, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Anyone want to share anything?
Thank you, Madhu, for this presentation and bringing the two presentations together. And it was useful, yes, specific aspects of creating modules for Terraform, and also the Vault presentation. I found some new pieces of information, and I would suggest or ask if you could create a demo for Vault, maybe this PKI certification issue would be a good example, because it's very special, and maybe it can be really good thing to use. Very simple. Looks very simple.
Sure, Andros, thank you. Thanks for the feedback. That's my next preparation. So that's why I just wanted to give it like a teaser in the thing. And I made it short by purpose because I would like to add more focus on the Terraform, the one for this one, so that people will think about it. And then slowly, the next one would be the Vault, so we can do a deep dive on Vault and that aspect as well. I would like to focus at least on that, right? So that's by purpose. I did it. Wanted to make it short, and I think that helps you guys to think more on this Terraform side, what Washington has demonstrated, and do a deep dive. So the next HashiCorp one will definitely a deep dive on Vault and more on secret management and how it helped. And also I'll try to do a technical demo using on Kubernetes as well, for sure. Thanks, Andros. That's very good feedback. Anyone else? Don't forget to please provide the feedback. It's in the chat, the link to the feedback form. So please do it, because I'll definitely support you. Again, mention clearly if you have any sub project or POC, or you're aiming for any certifications, or that will help me to, also help you and support you. If you have something to also showcase yourself, I believe everyone is equal. I believe everyone is talented and knowledgeable. Yeah. As a part of the community, I would like to invite you guys. If you have any great topic that you would like to share, please contact me. Mention the feedback form. I can make you as a speaker. I will share the platform with you guys, and you can share the knowledge as well. So there's no like one man knows everything. Everyone is an expert here in the call in something or the other. So please come forward, support the community, and please be active. And if you need any help, just ask. DevSecOn and HashiCorp are really supportive communities globally. So I have a very good relationship with those community managers back in US and UK, and across the countries where they support me. So just please ask if you need any support. I would like to especially thank Jasmine and Alexandra from HashiCorp, who basically helped me to support you guys with exam vouchers. And I want to thank Farah, Jason, Taylor, Albert. There's so many people from AWS who always support me with this credit. So if I ask, hey, I need some help with this on this community event, I want to support some guys with some POC, so I would like to give away some credit. They always come forward and support me, so thanks to them. And last but not least, Sam from DevSecOn community. So she's the community manager. I know from start. We're working closely for years, so thanks, Sam, for all your support from DevSecOn, from Sneak. So thank you guys. Anything else you would like to share, anyone, before I end the session? If not, please fill the feedback form, give me the valid email. You might get some surprise in your inbox. Never know, right? So in that case, thanks guys. Thank you. Thanks everyone, and have a wonderful day, and look forward to you on the next event. Thanks guys. Thank you.
Bye. You too guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.